Yo, what's happening? What's going on? First I want to say this, you know what I'm saying, before I go any further. I'm not here to save everyone. First of all, I'm not a savior. You know what I'm saying? I'm no Malcolm X, I'm no Dr. Umar Johnson, Polite, Charleston White, none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm not here to save people. That's not my job. That's not what I'm here for. You know what I mean? The only thing I'm here to do is to, forewarn, people, to inform people, give people knowledge. And it's up to them whether they want to receive it or not. It's just that plain and simple. You understand? So, to put it in layman's terms, everybody that's black is not going to be saved. Everybody that's black is not going to listen to what I have to say, let alone anyone that's telling the truth or kicking knowledge. They're not. And for those, hey, it is what it is. You see, I'm a realist. You understand? I know that black people have a choice in life. And whether they choose to be ignorant or not, that's up to them. So I just wanted to say that before I go any further. Just to let you all know that. So, we have this female called Sexxy Red. Let me tell you, the first time I saw her, right? I said, that looked like some broad I used to hit back in the days, no lie. You know what I'm saying? I used to slide through the hood, find me a little chicken head just like her. Nice, fat butt. You know what I'm saying? Little hood. She down for whatever. You know, them type of boys you can talk to in a couple of minutes. Next thing you know, you smoking a blunt, you chiefing up. You know what I'm saying? She probably drink what? Some daiquiri or some shit, something like that. You know, this is back in the days. You know? You drinking a 40 ounce, next thing you know, clothes is off, condoms, boom, you at it. So that's the first thing. I was reminiscing. The first time I seen it, I was reminiscing over some broad that I used to screw back in the days. That's exact. Sexxy Red reminded me of a females, chicks, plural, of the ones I used to hit up in the hood. That plain and simple. If you ever wanted to know, being that you never, hit up any hood rats, Sexxy Red is the epitome of all hood rats. She is the spokesperson for all hood rats. This is my word. You know what I'm saying? But the first time I saw her, I was like, yo, it is what it is. I didn't think she was gonna blow up like this. You know what I mean? I really didn't. I heard the song, she talking about my pussy hole pink, my booty hole brown, pound town, and all the rest of that. And then she did a song about her free my baby daddy and all the rest of that, and let the dread swing and all the rest of that. And I'm like, I didn't think she was gonna blow up. But now she's selling out arenas. And we gotta understand one thing. See, black people, you don't want to fess up. You don't want to fess up. You don't want to just admit that there is a large amount of people in our race that don't speak for all blacks. But there are a large amount of people in our race that are niggas, and they're never gonna change. Never gonna change. You see, I can admit that. I can accept that. Those type of people are the ones that I was talking about in the very beginning of this video. They're ignorant. They don't want any type of knowledge or information. They could care less about, AI and automation, computers and robots and this and that taking over. They don't care about that. They're looking more so of what they got going on in the present day instead of their future. That's real talk. And there's nothing that you can do to change their minds on anything. You could tell them like, yo, there's genetically modified foods and this is not right and blah, blah, blah. And you should watch out for health and you should be concerned about your spirituality and this and that and so forth. And guess what? It's going to go in one ear and right out the other. They don't care. People such as Sexxy Red and the likes. Just think about that. She's selling out arenas. And let's not go there and say, oh, well, white people buy. Nah. There's a lot of, I saw in the videos, and she does like these interviews and stuff like that, and they show like snippets of of her concerts, or her performing in these arenas, sold out arenas, these are black girls in the front of this stage. Little black girls. Yeah. Because it may not be to you, and it may not be to me or my daughters, but to a lot of other daughters, a lot of other, a lot of women and young girls, Sexxy Red is a role model. And I know you want to pass out for those that are in my generation, Generation X. You know what I'm saying? You want to pass out and talk about the old days and how we had Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, and they kept their clothes on and everything and this and that and so forth and blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit in this generation, in this day and time. They're not. Sexxy Red is their role model. And then you may say, well, man, the black race is old. They're done with it. I've said that quite a few times. But really, they're not. Really, we're not. For the small group of us, keep on doing your thing. Keep on doing the right thing. And don't be too much concerned about Sexxy Red and who she's influencing and this and that and so forth. Because guess what? At the end of the day, just like you can say we had Queen Latifah and Lauryn Hill in our generation, you know what I'm saying, that the young girls looked up to, guess what? We had little Kim and Foxy Brown as well. So there's always a choice. You understand? My daughters don't even know who Sexxy Red is. Matter of fact, I'm going to go even further with you. They just found out, one of my oldest daughter, you know what I'm saying, she just found out, and my son just found out who Sexxy Red was. For real. And it was a teaching moment. I exposed them to Sexxy Red. I did that. I showed them the video and they almost threw up. Because I raised them right. You see, before there was a Sexxy Red, a Sukahani, and all the rest of them people, you know what I did? I used to make poster boards when they were little kids. I used to make poster boards, and I would cut out pictures of rappers like Lil Wayne, who else? Rick Ross, all of these negative rappers. Nicki Minaj. And I would put them on those poster boards. I would paste them up. I would make another poster board where I cut out of magazines. I would buy magazines, cut pictures out of magazines and shit, and it would be pictures of cigarettes, Newport cigarettes, beer, wine, cocaine, weed, and all of that. Then, no lie, I'm not gonna lie, I spent a great deal of money on those books. But guess what? My kids mean, children, that is, my children mean the most to me. So I spent, man, I'm telling you, these Egyptian books that I had, well, I still have them. I cut pictures of pyramids out, pictures of pharaohs. I went to the natural hair, I bought a natural hair magazine and cut pictures of beautiful black women that had naturals. And I posted them all up. And I taught them at a young age, 3-4 years old, that this guy right here, you stay away from that type of guy. That type of guy is negative. This is what you want to look like. Young lady, young girl. Look at her hair. Look how natural it is. I taught them about their history. I taught them how to love themselves and appreciate who and what they are. So when they saw Sexxy Red, they almost threw up, because that is exactly the opposite of what I taught them to be. I never taught them to hate themselves. So I would say to you, this is my advice. I can't tell you how to raise your children. And if you don't have children, you have like someone that you cling on, you hold on to, that's sort of like your child, like your niece or your nephew or whatever have you. Do the same thing. Make poster boards and educate them. Because Sexxy Red is a good example of how you don't want your young girls daughters, cousins, nieces, cousins, etc. There's a perfect example of how you don't want them to be. But this is a reality in this day and time to quite a few young women, young girls. And Sexxy Red is their role model. And it's a shame, but yet it still is it. You can't save everyone. And I'm not the one to do that. I'm not your Jesus Christ. I'm not. For those that want to be ignorant, for those that want that desire a role model, an image like Sexxy Red, fuck them. This is a new day and time. Back in the 90s, yo, we thought we could save everyone. We'll go up to this person and say, hey, brother, hey, sister, you got knowledge yourself, and start building with them and shit. And then when they said some shit like, I don't want to hear that shit, man, get the fuck out of my face with that. The next day, we see them, we'll try to drill it down their throat again. You see, brother, you've been blinded, and this and that and so forth, and blah, 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 blah. This is a new day and time. You ain't got to say none of that shit. You speak your piece, and if people don't want to accept the information and the knowledge that you have to give, then guess what? I don't want to be quoting biblical scriptures, but it's just the truth. Why cast your pearls unto what? Swine. Everyone that's heavily melanated is not your brother. Or just melanated, period. And that's what we have to understand. That's what I had to understand. I wasted a lot of my time and energy on a bunch of niggas. That's real talk. And don't feel bad for them. Don't say in your mind, well, you know, they never came across people that had knowledge, or they don't know this, or they don't know that. Let me tell you something. Right now, this is the information age. If you want to find out something, all you got to do is halfway type it in Google. Straight up. If you want to say, let's say, for example, you want to know about the Egyptians, you can misspell Egypt. You can misspell Egyptian, and they'll spell it out for you. Hell, most of us got it where you can just push the button and say, yo, I want to know what Egypt is. Because you got a microphone on your goddamn phone. So we make no excuses for the niggas anymore. If they want Sexxy Red to be their role model as well as their children, allow them to do it. Because for hood rats, she is the perfect role model. And we're not going to be able to Harlem shake this shit. We just have to accept that we got a lot of motherfucking niggas in our race. You just got to accept that. You got to eat that. Just like, you know, Caucasians deal with rednecks. Every race has their bullshit. It just so happens that we got a whole bunch of bullshitters in our race. And we can't make excuses for them anymore. We can't. Because time is of the essence. And the thing of it is, this is what I learned. Man, how can you save someone if you can't even save yourself? That's real talk. That's real talk. How could you feed someone if you don't hardly have anything to eat? That's real spill. Man, you know, nowadays, you know, I'll drive past a homeless person, and they'll be like, yo, man, can I get something to eat? Or can I get this and I can't get, can I get this and can I get that? And I may not have it. I'll be like, yo, I can't have it. I don't feel a certain kind of way if I don't have it anymore. I don't. Because I'm not here to save everyone. Now, if I have it, I'll give it to you. But I'm not going to give you my last. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. And this is what we have to understand. Some of you all may have hood in your family, hood people in your family that are up to no good, that always want something for nothing. Stop listening to what they have to say. Stop buying into their bullshit. That plain and simple. People are going to do what they want to do regardless. You know what I'm saying? I hear youngins, I be at the park or whatever, you know, I'm running, I'm working out, you know, stuff like that. I hear youngins, you know, at the park, they got their box out. You know what I'm saying? And they banging all types of ignorant ass shit. I don't tell them to turn it down. Continue to do what you want to do. Because guess what? It's obvious somebody didn't raise you right. Excuse me. And nowadays, I'm not going to get involved with these kids. Because some of these kids don't want to hear the shit and they'll pull out. Some of these kids find it to be offensive when you say, hey, brother, what's going on? And I just want to kick some knowledge to you. Hell, I've been robbed twice on that bullshit years ago. When I was in my early 20s, trying to kick that right knowledge and information and all that brother and sister shit in the hood. And them niggas was like, yo, run your shit. Fuck all the rest of that shit you saying. So why the fuck should I feel sorry for them, man? When in reality, they don't even feel sorry for themselves. I ain't see no one in that crowd. When I saw that shit on Sexxy Red, you know, on YouTube, I ain't see no one in that crowd. Nobody didn't look sad. Everybody looked happy. Everybody was quoting the song. People will dance to ignorance, listen to ignorance, all that. So why should I feel sorry for people? I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna be the example. And if someone wants to follow, you know, my footsteps, by all means. So that's what you need to do. Start looking at Sexxy Red and be the example. Be the example. Counteract the bullshit. Other than that, Sexxy Red is doing exactly what white America wants her to do. And overall, I heard her in the interview, she was like, yo, people keep on saying I'm fake and this and that and so forth. I'm being myself. Every time you see me, I'm being me. I'm doing me. So she's being herself. This is not a front. She's doing her. And I know it may shock some of you all because y'all never seen that shit. Y'all never experienced that shit. Some of y'all might have not lived in the hood or fuck with hood people and shit like that. But I can tell you, yo, that's typical in the hood. No lie, if I was in my early 20s right now, I probably would want to hit up Sexxy Red. She a hood chick. You ain't got to pay much money for her. You know what I'm saying? You might take her to Applebee's. I'm not saying take her to Applebee's, you know, like take her out on a date. Nah, you're like, well, I just buy you something or whatever. Not even Applebee's. She probably like a Wendy's type bitch or some shit. You get her something to eat later on, and you getting her something to eat and buying her drugs and everything that she want is because you gonna hit the skins later on. Yo, I'm gonna end it like this. Yo, seriously, y'all gonna be upset with me when I say this shit. Y'all gonna be upset with me when I say this shit. But at the end of the day, when I look at Sexxy Red, you know what I really think about? I'm like, damn, those were the good old days where you didn't have to really pay that much for pussy. I'm dead ass. A boy like that, you ain't got to spend no money. You ain't have to buy no Birkin bag. You ain't got to pay the rent. You ain't got to pay for her nails to get did. Not done. Did. None of that. You can skeet. You can do whatever with the broad. Nowadays, you got to pay for all of this shit. But at the end of the day, she's the perfect role model for the hood rats that's out there and the future hood rats. Yo, one thing that I know out of all my years, on this planet is you can't stop ignorance. You can't. You can't stop ghetto. You can't. The only thing that you can do is control you and be the example. And hopefully, people will follow your lead.